dukkha. First noble truth.
Oh, you look also highly energized and motivated. Looks more like a congregation of people who want to die. So, you look at me. What is it that we need to know about the Lord Buddha's teaching? The Four Noble Truths. The first Noble Truth is dukkha. If you don't understand the first Noble Truth, we won't understand the teachings of the Buddha. What is dukkha? Discomfort, restlessness, pain, suffering. And why do we do the things that we do? Why do we move? Why do we scratch? Why do we eat? Why do we drink? Why do we sleep? Because of dukkha. If we wouldn't have dukkha, we would be contented. If we are contented, we don't wish to do anything. We don't want to talk, we don't want to call, we don't want to do this or do that. So all of our actions are motivated by dukkha. And we have lots of it. Our whole face is, full of dukkha. It shows, it shines through. It's so hard life, huh? It could be so easy if you really understood what is going on. It could be so easy, so comfortable. But because of the second truth, the second noble truth of our desire, that's why we create all this dukkha. We want to be. Yeah? Some people, who are close to die, they don't want to die. Yeah? So they want to be. Other people want to die. Yeah? And they don't die. Yeah? Other people want to become this or become that. They don't want to become this or they don't want to become that. That all creates dukkha. The more we want, the more desires we have, desires for either the positive or negative. The more dukkha we have in our life, the less desires we have, the less dukkha do we have, the more contentment. We could be so content. Each one of us has a place to sleep. Each one of us has some food to eat. What do we need more? Contented with little, yeah, is one of the recipes for happiness. Look at a monk, yeah? I mean, he goes in the morning on alms round, gets his food, he's contented with the food that he gets, yeah? Be it plain rice or be it lots of different things. Yeah? Whatever he gets in his bowl, he's contented with. Yeah? He has one set of robes, 3 pieces of cloth. Yeah? He doesn't need anything else. He has a water filter, a thread, needle and thread, yeah, to mend his robes. That's all what he needs. A sitting cloth, his bowl. Wherever he goes, he takes these things with him, yeah, and then he can live. He can rest under a tree, he can rest in caves, yeah, or he has a kuti to stay in. Easy life. And what do we need? Yeah? I mean, when you go home, in your apartment, look at all these things that are there. Huh? And we all think we need them. Huh? Well, they're all, all gathering dust, so we have to take care of them. Yeah? We have to dust them. We have to take care of all these clothes that are in the wardrobe, yeah? And all these things, yeah? We have to wash them, we have to look after them. Isn't that a lot of work, yeah? Yeah? And we don't like to do that kind of work, yeah? So, I mean, the easy solution is to get rid of it. Whatever we don't need, yeah? Get rid of it. And then you don't have to worry about it. If we could change our moods, our feelings, like we can change our clothes, that would be nice, and there would be a reason, why to go shopping every day. But going shopping, doesn't relieve our moods, yeah? We cannot change our feelings by just putting on a new shirt or new trousers or new skirt, huh? Or by going to the hairdresser. Yeah? We always think, when we look different, we are a different person. Yeah. No. Same person inside. No matter what we do, no matter how we style our hair, what kind of clothes we wear, yeah? We're the same person, yeah? Same feelings. Yeah? And we haven't really realized that we can't change our feelings, yeah? So how can we say they belong to us? Your clothes belong to you, yeah? So if you don't like this kind of blouse or this kind of shirt, you just change it to another color. Yeah? You can do that. Yeah? If you have a bad feeling, can you change it to a pleasant feeling? Nah. So why do we call the feelings us, me, mine? Why do we attach to it? And this attachment creates of course dukkha. We don't want the good feelings to go. Dukkha. We don't want the bad feelings to arise. Dukkha. It's all the first noble truth. Yeah? And the desire. Yeah? Being contented with whatever there is. Yeah? If it's a cloudy sky, if it is rainy sky, if it is a sunny sky. Yeah? Just be happy. Just be contented. Yeah? You can't change it. If you are poor in this life, you can't change it. If you are a woman in this life, you can't change it. If you are a man in this life, you can't change it. If you are smart or if you are stupid, we can't change it. So be contented with whatever you are, yeah? And then you have little dukkha. Yeah? Just the dukkha of the body, when it's hungry, the dukkha of hunger, the dukkha of thirst, the dukkha of tiredness. The third noble truth is there is an end of dukkha. Great news, yeah? If you don't like dukkha, we know there's an end of dukkha. And the fourth noble truth is the path that leads to the end of dukkha. Yeah? Listen with your heart, then you don't have to write it down. Everything goes into the heart, and the heart knows it, yeah? It keeps everything. Yeah? But our mind constantly forgets it. The heart remembers. It remembers all the teaching as it has gone through, through all our lives. Eh? That's why we are gathered here. Because the heart remembers, our mind doesn't remember it, but the heart leads us to the situation or to the place where we can hear it again. Eh? So it's the third noble truth, it's very nice. Yeah? It says there is an end of dukkha. And the fourth noble truth is the path that leads to the end of dukkha. And how does the path start? It always starts with sila, with morality, with virtue. Yeah? You took on the 8 precepts, yeah? The sila that is normally on the path, it's the 5 precepts. Yeah? That means people, can go the path, with 5 precepts. Yeah? At least to the first stage of enlightenment. It is not harming any living being, not taking what is not given. No sexual misconduct, I explained it yesterday. Yeah? No lies, yeah? No deceptive speech, no harsh speech, and speech that hurts other people. Yeah? And we do that a lot. Our mouth is, it's much faster than our mind. Yeah? We badmouth people. Yeah? It's not good speech. Yeah? And then no alcohol, no drugs, everything that makes us unmindful. And a little bit of it, already, changes. Yeah? It changes our mindfulness. Yeah? If you don't believe it, try to drink a beer or half a glass of wine and then try to meditate. It is impossible. You can't concentrate on one thing. Impossible. And then you see, just a sip of alcohol, changes already everything. Yeah? So if you don't believe it, just try it out. Yeah? And that's the reason why the Lord Buddha, said no alcohol, no drugs, yeah? To be mindful all the time. Being mindful, being aware of what we are doing all the time, is one of the important things. Yeah? So, those of you who have been here all day long and practicing all day long, yeah? What were your thoughts when you saw the food? Hey, what were your thoughts when you were eating? Huh? No awareness. Huh? What were the thoughts after eating? Yeah? What were the thoughts when you went to the restroom? Huh? You remember? That's how unaware we are. When you go down the steps, what were your thoughts? Yeah? When you go up the steps, what were your thoughts? Yeah? See how unaware we are. We just go ahead and do things, and then we are in thoughts. Yeah? Just set the body in motion, and then going up the stairs, and thinking, we don't even know what we think. Because the second part, and the first part is sila, samadhi. Samadhi is the ability to concentrate. Samma samadhi, right concentration. And concentration develops sati. And sati is one of the weapons that we need to fight the kilesa. Concentration. Concentration on one point. Knowing what one is doing all day long. That leads to wisdom. Yeah? Knowing what one is doing when one sees the food. Yeah? I mean, you will be amazed when you have that clarity. Yeah? Because then you see the kilesas arranging the meal plan already. Before you even started to put some food on your plate. They already arranged everything what you want to eat. They are so fast, yeah? And then while we're eating, they are not with the food, they're just with the taste, yeah? And you just eat for the taste, you don't eat for the body. And it happens to every one of us, yeah? I mean, we eat something that we like and then we get a stomach upset, yeah? We eat too much, and we get a stomach upset. Yeah? We don't eat just party, just enough, yeah? Because the taste. We love the taste, yeah? The taste of food, yeah? That's why we try out all different kinds of food. Yeah? But what happens to the food when it goes down here? Where's the taste? When it is in the stomach, where's the taste? Yeah? It is on the tongue, for 10 seconds, and it's in the stomach for 36 hours. But we care only about these 10 seconds. We don't care about the 36 hours that it's in the stomach, yeah? And what it does, yeah, inside. Yeah? If it is healthy or not. Yeah? We are the only ones who can decide, yeah, what is good for our body, because not everybody is the same. Yeah? What is good for you might be poison for the other person. Yeah? What is poison for the other person might be good for you. So that's why we have to really investigate what we intake, what kind of food we intake. People say this is good or that is good, or the doctors say you have to take this and take that. How do the doctors know? Medicine is, guesswork. If something is over 50%, then it serves everybody. Then it is a clear fact. Just 50%, over 50%. And it doesn't work, and we know it, and they know it, yeah? I mean, some of the cancer medicine, works for some of the people, for most of the people it doesn't work. And when we are Buddhists, we know why it doesn't work. Yeah? If we have the karma, no matter what kind of medicine we take, the karma stays on, yeah? Or the illness goes. Yeah? Rely on your karma. Yeah? Whatever happens, whatever happens tomorrow is born because of your karma. But look forward to it, even if you don't like it. Yeah? You can't avoid it. Yeah? Just like, when it's raining, you can't avoid the rain if you have to go out. Yeah? Or you can't avoid the sun if it is hot. Yeah? So be happy. Yeah? And then from now on, then just create good karma. All the things that you would like to meet. Yeah? If you like to meet friendly people, then be friendly. Yeah? If you want that people love you, then love people. Yeah? It's so easy. Yeah? Whatever. Yeah? Whatever you want others to do unto you, that's what you do unto others. Yeah? And then, we have the most happy life. Yeah? And we see it now, all the things are coming back that we did unto others. And that is, of course, not nice. then we can see, what kind of people we are. We don't have to ask anybody. We don't have to go to the psychologist and ask, who am I? We see it every moment. How people react to us, what people say to us, if people hurt us, if we are wealthy or if we are poor, it's all because of our karma. Karma is the law, is the natural law that governs this whole universe. But we don't understand it, or we don't want to understand it. Because we only want to claim the good things, that is our right. All the bad things that happen to our life, somebody else is responsible for it. But Buddhism teaches us to be responsible for us, for ourselves, for everything that happens to us, and see where it is coming from. Because you can see the root of it, it is still in the heart. Be it of the good karma or be it of the bad karma. It's still in the heart, and it will create more and more karma of that kind. If you are not going to eliminate it. It is just like you have a garden, and there are some flowers in it, but there's lots of weed, But when you water everything, you just pour water because you're too lazy, to dig out the weed, Or just cut it off so that you don't see it, and then it grows again. It's much easier, cut it out, than to uproot it, We cut the grass all the time, So it looks nice, And then it grows again and we have to cut it again, That's what we do, All the things that we don't want to see, we cut it, and it grows again, and it grows again, and grows again, Unless we put some effort into it, and find the roots of the weed and uproot it, And if we have sati, if we would know what we are doing all the time, then there wouldn't be any problem in uprooting anything. But we just walk, because some voice in our head says, walk, or go here, go there, do this, do that, call up this person, call up that person. Read this, watch this, We don't know what we are doing, At least not why we are doing it. And we don't know the results of it because we don't care to look. Was that good? Was my heart happy? After I did this, after I said this to this person, was my heart really happy, or we feel it. We do feel it, but we don't care. We really don't care about that. We know it wasn't right. Our heart instantly tells us, We don't even have to ask it, We know it wasn't right, But we still go on doing it. Because our mindfulness, our sati doesn't kick in before we open the mouth, The intention already comes when we see this person, we don't even open the mouth, The intention comes, to say something bad about this person, And then everything runs off, We just open the mouth a little, And it's not because of this person. It's because of our anger that resides within us. Somebody said something bad about us, and then we see another person and say something bad about this, just to retaliate. And that's not healthy, because it comes back. It all comes back to us, no matter if it is good or bad what we did unto others. So that's why in every language there is this saying, don't do unto others what you don't want others to do unto you. Because whatever happens to you right now is that what you have done unto others. We always forget the second sentence, the second part. everything that happens to us is the things that we have done unto others, be it good or be it bad. And that is something that we have to realize, and that is something not only to realize, it's something that we have to accept. Yeah? And it is very difficult to accept the bad things that happen to us. Yeah? It's not easy for anybody. Yeah? It wasn't easy for Ajahn, to accept it in the first place. Yeah? He always thought, it's somebody else. Yeah? Until he realized, no, it's coming out from inside. Yeah? And it's difficult to swallow. Yeah? It's difficult to accept. Yeah? And a Buddhist is a person, is a human being that is responsible for his own actions. Yeah? We always like to be somebody else responsible. Government responsible, yeah. Family responsible, the kids responsible, the parents responsible, yeah, but not us. Yeah? That's not a Buddhist. A Buddhist knows he's responsible for whatever happens to him. He's responsible for it. Yeah? And he learns, and you should learn from that. And we see it, yeah? When something happens to us, we just look in our heart and see what creates this kind of karma. Yeah? When we see it, we can uproot it. Yeah? Say, okay, no, it's not good. Yeah? It will not work on the first time, but after 10 or 50 times, yeah, when we say, no, we don't want to do that anymore, yeah? When we let our heart feel the pain, let our heart feel the dukkha of our own actions, yeah? Then the heart, sooner or later will decide, no, I'm not doing it anymore. I don't want constantly to put my hand in the fire. Yeah? But it's burning. Our heart is burning. But we always look outside. That's why we don't see. It's our own heart that is burning. It's not the outside that is burning. It's not the other person that is bad. It's a bad within us. Yeah? We can be very forgiving, if we are good. But if our heart is bad, we are very unforgiving. Yeah? Especially if we do the same things that we complain about others doing. Then we can be very unforgivable. And we can be very forgivable if we don't do these things. Because we see the pain that this other person creates. Yeah? So, just look at your daily life and you see, wherever you are unforgivable, that is something, that you have to correct. That is something within you. So just tear it out, and then you have one less problem, one less source of dukkha. And with sati, you will see. It's the eyes. But if you close your eyes, just try to walk, Try to walk through the street, just 20 meters, with your eyes closed. Yeah? What happens? You stumble across this, you bump into that, yeah? And you don't know what you bump into. Yeah? You don't know what you stumble across. And that's how we walk through the world. Yeah? With our eyes closed. Yeah? Because we don't have sati. We don't know what we are doing, why we are doing it, what the results of it are. Yeah? And sati is trained through samadhi. Through the concentration on one point, through anapanasati at the tip of the nose, knowing the breath goes in, knowing the breath goes out, knowing that the breath is deep, knowing that the breath is shallow, not trying to control the breath. Just observe it. You breathe since you're born. Or mentally repeat, when you think a lot, mentally repeat the word Buddha, 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 Buddha. And watch a Buddha. Observe the Buddha. if it is big, if it is small, if it is loud, if it is silent. Yeah? Just observe the Buddha. Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. And if you do it well, then there is no other thought coming in. And the only thought that remains is the Buddha. And once the mind is calm, yeah, it will become happy, it will become contented. Yeah? Because the thoughts and the memories all are creating this dukkha that we have. Yeah? All these worries, without thought there is no worries. Without thought there is no fear. Without thought there is no future. Without thought there is no past. And we are just Why do we deprive ourselves of this? Why is it so difficult? Why do we think we constantly have to think about this and think about that? Yeah? Have you solved any problems by thinking about this? Yeah? You can solve problems by doing something. Yeah? No, you can solve problems by saying something. Yeah? But we can't solve problems by thinking about it. Yeah? Or worrying about something. Yeah? Has your worries ever, taken good fruits? Yeah? When you worry about your children not coming home, yeah? Do they come home faster? Huh? Or your husband doesn't come home? Yeah? Or your wife doesn't come home? Yeah? Worry about that it has an accident, Does the accident happen or not happen because of our worries? So what's the use of it? Once we know, we can rush to the hospital, and see. Yeah? If we don't know, we don't know. Why to worry about all these things? Things will happen all the time. Yeah? Why to worry about things that happen, outside of our reach? Yeah? I mean, if you know that 20 kilometers away a child is drowning, can you help that child? So why to worry about it? Oh, it's a bad. If you're not a doctor, how can you, why worry about a patient? You can't really help it. But if the child is drowning in front of you, then you can put your arm in and pull it out. That's action. Yeah? So worries, just make us bad feelings. But it seems that we love these bad feelings. Yeah? We love this worry, and we think, the more we worry, the more compassionate we are. Actually, the more foolish we are. Compassionate is, feeling with somebody. Yeah? Not imagining what that other person feels. Huh? That's what we normally do, and then we call that compassion. It's not compassion. Yeah? Feeling somebody else's pain. Yeah? Not thinking this person is in a bad situation, and then imagine ourselves to be in that bad situation, and then imagine what we would feel. Yeah? That's not compassion, that is selfishness. And we are selfish. We are all selfish. Yeah? And everybody who has a partnership, you know how selfish we are. Yeah? We only think about ourselves. Yeah? We always think, everybody else, needs to do the things that we want. Yeah? And we even don't know what we want. We even don't know what makes us happy. How can the other person know what makes us happy? But we expect it. Make me happy, make me happy. Huh? We ourselves don't even know that, what makes us happy. Because if we know what makes us happy, we could make ourselves happy. So we do expect it from the other person, and if he can't make us happy, we get angry. Huh? That's how selfish we are. We only think about ourselves. We really don't care about other people. We cannot have, we normally don't have that much compassion with other people. We have lots of compassion for ourselves, meaning we feel sorry for ourselves. And what's the use of feeling sorry for yourself? It's a bad feeling. It's an unhappy feeling. If you see that you feel sorry for yourself, change it. Do Buddha, and then the feeling sorry for yourself that was created by thoughts and memories, disappears and you feel happy and contented. That's how we change things. Whatever creates this dukkha, we can replace it. Just like we do in everyday life. If we see something that we don't like, we turn our eyes away from it. We do that constantly. So, we could do the same thing. Once we see, there are bad thoughts coming in, we turn our eyes away from it. And replace them with Buddha, or replace them with the mindfulness on the breath. So easy. We do that all the time. Why is it so difficult to do it? Because we believe that the thoughts are me. Do you have any control of the thoughts while you do meditation that come into the mind? Did you invite them to come in? No. Because when you sit down and meditate, the only thought that you want to have is either Buddha, or the concentration on the breath. The knowing. And then look what all kinds of thoughts, what all kinds of memories come in. Did you invite them? So how can you call them you? Yourself. It's just like clouds passing by. You don't call them me, mine. You don't even call the person that walks close by you. You don't call them me, mine. They're just walking by us. They're just appearing and disappearing. So why do put so much emphasis on them? Of course we can use thoughts. We can use the thought, thinking about death, thinking about pain. Thinking about this body. What kind of pleasures does this body give us? Why do we like this mess? Take off the skin and look in the mirror and see what mess is underneath? You like that? Take the skin off your partner, you still want to hug him? It's only thin, so thin. That deceives us, that this body is beautiful or desirable. If we see the mess underneath it, we wouldn't desire this body. Especially if we wouldn't desire the food anymore when we look in our stomach, after a few hours. It's still good. It still produces the energy, that the body needs. But we wouldn't like to eat it again, would we? So what is so great about this body? That is already the first part, of the third column of the path that leads to the end of dukkha. Investigation. Investigation that leads to wisdom. Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Panya is wisdom. Wisdom is developed by investigation. Asking the right question. Not the question, how did I get into the mess? But the question, how do I get out of this mess? The question, what is pain? It drives us nuts. So what actually is pain? Is it really located in the body? Why does the pain disappear then when we get up? Never think about that. We always always want a relief of the pain, yeah? That's why we run to the doctor, give me some painkillers, yeah? Not knowing what the pain is. Not understanding. Yeah? Understanding pain is so useful. We all have to die, and we all will die in pain. Just like we were born. We were born in pain, we will die in pain, yeah? So understanding pain is very useful. And when you meditate, for 12, 16, 18 hours a day, then you will start to love pain, yeah? Because it keeps you awake. Yeah? You don't get tired when there is pain. Yeah? And it's a very good and very stable meditation object. It doesn't disappear just like the breath. It doesn't disappear like the Buddha. It stays and stays and stays. Yeah? And that's why we can concentrate. Yeah? So when there is pain, then we switch our meditation from the Buddha or from the breath onto this pain. What is pain? Yeah? Let's have a look. Yeah? Then we concentrate on that spot where the pain appears. Yeah? And then we watch. Yeah? Then we observe the pain. Is it anicca? Is it changing? And then we notice, yes, it is changing. It's not constant. That's a relief. Sometimes it's stronger, sometimes it's weaker. Then asking the question now, is it point-wise or is it area-wise? Yeah? And then whatever it is, And then concentrate on that point or on this area. And then ask, where is it? Is it in the skin? Is it in the bones? Is it in the flesh? Yeah? Is it in the tendons? Where is this pain? Yeah? I mean, we have skin since we are born. We have bones since we are born. We are flesh since we are born. We have tendons since we are born. Yeah? So we should be always in pain if it is in the bone, if it is in the bones or in the skin. We are not. It sometimes appears and then disappears. Yeah? So if you concentrate further on this pain, yeah, and if you are very close, to catch the culprit, yeah, then the pain disappears. Very often it happens very quickly, for the beginners, yeah, when the moment they concentrate on the pain, it disappears. Yeah? But first of all, before we can even concentrate on the point, we have to accept it. We have to embrace it. Just like a child. Embrace the pain, accept it, yeah, and then investigate. We can do that with any kind of feelings. Yeah? If we dislike it, there's no investigation possible. The moment there's any kind of dislike, yeah, you cannot investigate. Yeah? So that's why I say, embrace that. Whatever feeling it is, whatever unpleasant feeling it is, yeah? Be it pain, be it fear, be it whatever, yeah? Embrace it and then investigate it. So for a lot of you, you just concentrate on the pain and it disappears. Yeah? And then you go back to the Buddha. If it stays longer, and if you investigate it like I just told you before, then it will disappear and reappear at another location. And that is amazing. Yeah? I mean, your whole knee was in pain, but it was the left knee. And then you start investigating, and suddenly, it shifts to the other knee. And then the left knee is completely out of pain. There's no more pain. But now the right, it's too much. How can that happen? It's a spook. You know what a spook is? It's magic. It just was there and we hardly could bear it. And then it suddenly completely disappears and reappears at another spot. Just like somebody wants to fool us. Okay. And then we go to the next spot, investigate it there. And then we investigate, and then it goes to another spot. And then it goes to the back, or goes to the head, or goes anywhere, to the shoulders. And then we go there. Until it shows us where it really comes from. And we really have to see it. We really have to follow the path of the pain to show us where it originates from. And that's difficult. I mean, that takes hours. Yeah? But eventually, if you don't give up, it will show us. Yeah? And then it's it's the first step in pain investigation, and then we never have any problems with pain anymore, because we know where it's coming from. And then we can correct it in there. Even if we know it, even if we assume it, that we know where it's coming from, doesn't solve the problem. We have to see it happening. We really have to see it happening. You really have to see it to understand. In order to be able to understand, we have to see it, not to know. Knowing doesn't help us. Knowing doesn't solve the problem. Of course, people tell us, it appears in the heart. Yeah? Even if we look in the heart, we don't see the pain, it's still in the body. So we have to follow up, until it shows us where it comes from. So that is for the most, pain investigation. Yeah? Body investigation starts with a birth, and ends with death. Yeah? Going through old age, sickness. Yeah? Why do we keep something alive like that? Yeah? What kind of pleasures does the body give up? Sense pleasures. Yeah? Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking. What kind of mess do we have inside? Have a look at it. The nature of the body. You really want to see? Have you ever watched it? How they open a corpse? That's how we look. If you slaughter an animal, what you shouldn't do, and you open it up, it just looks like us. But all what you see is meat that you put in the pan and then eat it. So other animals, bigger animals, think of us as meat. Yeah? They eat us. What is this body? Why are we so attached to this mess that gives us so much trouble? Yeah? Every day it gets tired, every day it gets hungry, every day, we need to go to the toilet, every day we need to wash it. Yeah? We wash the hair, wash the body, of all the filth that comes outside from the inside to the outside, through the skin. The skin doesn't get dirty outside. The dirt that we wash off comes from inside. The smell, the disgusting smell, that we don't like. That's why we use perfume, and things like that. To cover the smell up. I mean, how much do we delude ourselves about this body? So how can it be so nice, if you cover up? Wear clothes, and all these things, because we really don't want to see it. Especially if you get older and older. What does this body bring us? What kind of contentment, what kind of happiness does this body bring us? That's the investigation that you should do. The investigation of the nature of the body. Take away the skin and you see, there's nothing to love it. Eat the food, and then look at the outcome. When it comes out, Try to hold it in your hand, it just came out of the body. We constantly touch our body, But what comes out of the body we find disgusting. Why is that? That's a question you should ask yourself. You don't have to start with shit, Just start with your hair. You wash your hair, the hair falls in the drainage, and it is covered with soap, and you find it already disgusting. A moment before you loved it, Oh, it looks nice, it feels nice, it just feels smooth. The moment it is down, it just falls off our head. And we already find it disgusting. Huh? Why? And everything that comes out of this body or falls off this body. Yeah? I mean, I know women love their fingernails. Yeah, and they polish it, they cut it, nicely. But the moment, we cut it off, we find it disgusting. When it's there, yeah? It's something that is dirty. As long as it is, sticks to the body, we find it amazingly beautiful, yeah? And the moment it comes off the body, or it comes out of the body, we find it disgusting. Why? This is the question you have to ask yourself. Why do you fool yourself? If you have a nice pillow, yeah, I always bring this, it's a nice example. If you have a nice pillow, yeah, where you rest your head on, and you find it comfortable, it is soft, yeah, it is warm, yeah, and then somebody tells you to open it up, yeah, and you say, why? Why should I open up the pillow? It's nice and comfortable, I like it, yeah. Wherever I go, I take it with me. And then somebody tells you, open it up, open it up, open it up. Okay, one time you give in, you open it up, and you see it's full of warm shit. Would you stitch it up again, and then put your head again on it? No, never ever. You carry it with 2 fingers out and put it in the trash. And that is the realization that comes through body investigation. Once you see the true nature of the body, you won't stitch it up, you won't find it pleasant. You will take it to the grave and leave it there and never take it back. That is the end of the body investigation. Yeah? And you will never be born again into a body. Yeah? But within the body also rests this greed. Always this constant greed, for sense pleasures, the greed, for food, the greed for something to drink, the greed for to sleep, yeah? The greed for seeing, the greed for hearing. Yeah? What is it? How many times have you seen this? Why do you still want to see it? How many times have you tasted? Why do you still want to taste it? How many times have you touched it? Why do you still want to touch it? That's the sense pleasures. They are anicca. They are constantly appearing, disappearing. We constantly have to do it over and over again. When are we getting tired of this? That comes with the body. And also the anger comes with the body. It's all about the body. Anger is all about the body. If you're done with the investigation of the body, greed and hate are disappeared. It all is concerned with the body and the senses. Wanting to see this, wanting to know this, wanting to think this. Wanting to hear this again and again and again. And there's no end to it. And with the food, yes. Now, before, 50 years or 100 years ago, we had only the food of our own country. Now we have the food of all the worlds. Of every country. So we need to try Japanese food, then we need to try Thai food, then we need to try Western food, yeah? Spaghetti or pizza, hamburger. And what is the difference in the taste, It is salty, it is greasy, yeah? It is sour, it is sweet, it is bitter, yeah? Whatever food you eat, it's the same, yeah? It's the 7 things, yeah? It's just a mixture. It's a mixture of all these plants. And if we would really only one time, eat really sati, then we would taste it. And then we really could not distinguish between this kind of food or that kind of food, because all what we would taste is salt, bitter, sour, sweet, and so on, greasy. And then the desire for these tastes are gone. The body investigation, leads to the stage of anagami. Understanding that the body is not self can lead us to the stage of sotapanna, stream entry. We are not this body. You just happen to be born in a car and die in a car, and then you think you are the car. Everybody here in this room knows that he is not the car, even if he sits in there. Or do you believe that you are the car? You drive the car, you tell it where to go. But are you the car? No. So why are we the body? We tell the body to walk, then it walks. We tell the body to talk, then it talks. We tell the body to think, then it thinks. Because that's what we did, for the first 15 years of our life. Program it so that it does what we want it to do. You've forgotten it? Was it a lot of fun time, to learn to talk, to learn to walk? How often did we hit our head? How often were we laughed about when we couldn't pronounce it correctly? Or couldn't express ourselves correctly? Or couldn't think properly or think straight? Was it so much fun, to program this body? To learn how to drive it? Just like we learn how to drive a car? We want to drive, that's why we learn it. We want this body, that's why we learn how to work it. And then this program runs and runs and runs on its own, and what do? We fall asleep. We don't even know. So the three fetters that bind us to the realms of birth and death is the fetter of doubt that there is heaven, doubt that there is hell, doubt that there is karma, doubt that there are results of karma, doubt that there is good karma and the results are good, doubt that there is bad karma and the results are bad, and doubt that there are beings in heaven and beings in hell. That's the first fetter. The second fetter is what's the second fetter? Sometimes I forget. What's the second fetter? Completely out. Left my mind. You know it? Huh? What is rites and ritual? Can somebody explain me what is rites and rituals? To grab in front, to pay respect, is that right? That's a ritual, isn't it? So that should be a fetter, to pay respect to the Lord Buddha, to chant, to praise the Lord Buddha. That should be a fetter. It's called Sila Paramat. What's Sila Pata? Sila Pata Paramasa. That's the second fetter. Not keeping the 5 precepts. That is the second fetter. Keeping it, the next day we don't keep it, and keeping it again, and don't keep it, and keeping it again, and then don't keep it. See how many of these wrong translations make us completely oblivious of the right path. Rites and rituals. I don't know where sila. The first, when we talked about the fourth noble truth, it's sila. And sila is virtue. Morality. It's the 5 precepts. So when the rule says sila paramasa, then it means fiddling with the precepts, keeping them, not keeping them. So how does it come? Yeah? That we get a wrong translation and wrong understanding, and then we think we don't need to do any rituals, we don't need to pay respect to the Lord Buddha, or do this because that's wrong? No. Paying respect to the Lord Buddha is always right. Yeah? Paying respect to the Sangha, or to the monks that represent, yeah? Not the monks themselves, they are just people like you. Yeah? To that what they represent, the Sangha. Yeah? The community of people who go the path of the Lord Buddha. So sila, it's not keeping the 5 precepts. Yeah? And how often, Sometimes, the desires are going, let's go against it, and then tomorrow I keep them again. That's exactly the fetter that binds us to samsara, or to birth and death. Sila, vata, paramasa. So remember it now, correctly. It's not rites and rituals, yeah? I think I told you last year, didn't I? Forgot it already, or you take it back, because it is much better, yeah? It's much easier. No, it all depends on sila, and it is already there, yeah? In the word, in the fetter itself in Pali, yeah? Just like with anapanasati, sati, yeah? About breathing in and breathing out, yeah? So sila. Yeah? And the third one is thinking that we are the body. Yeah? Get out of the body, look at the body, and then you know you're not the body. It's just a house, you live in. Yeah? Or do you think the house is you? You moved apartments, yeah? I don't know, some people, move from this apartment to that apartment, yeah? So they switch their personality when they move, yeah? No. Get out of the body, look at the body, and then you know you're not the body, yeah? Or tell the person who was born in a car, and who thinks he dies in the car, you knock on the window and say, get out. Have a look, you're not the car. Yeah? Yeah? So these are the three fetters, yeah, that bind us. Yeah? Once we break these 3 fetters, we enter the stream. Entering the stream means we have at most 7 more lives. Yeah, it's the beginning of the end. Yeah? And then we can enjoy the rest of the 7 lives if you want to, if you think that it's enjoyable. Yeah? Anybody who was there, doesn't think it's that enjoyable. He rushes on, not to be born again at all. Yeah? I mean, every human life, you have a body, you are born, you get old, yeah, and you are sick, and you die, yeah. So what is so enjoyable? But, if you think so, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me, it's your life. Yeah? You have to spend in this body, yeah. You are captured, you are imprisoned in this body for 60, 70, 80, 100 years, yeah. You can't get out, even if you want to, yeah. We are captured, yeah? And we have to feel, and we have to feel all this bodily pain, all this bodily discomfort. And that's what makes us so restless, and makes us so angry, and makes us so unhappy. Okay, remember this way. Remember this well. The first fetter is the fetter of doubt, yeah? I don't know what the translation is, probably also wrong, yeah? No, doubt that there's heaven and doubt that there is hell. Yeah? Doubt that there is karma, that there are fruits of good karma and there are fruits of bad karma. Yeah? Doubt that there are beings in heaven and beings in hell. Yeah? I mean, we've been so often to hell. Yeah? That's why we're so afraid of. We've been to heaven, and that's why we want to go there. Yeah? If we wouldn't know it, I mean, nobody could, incite us. Yeah? Or nobody could scare us, but everybody's scared. Yeah? And the second one is, keep from today on, keep your 5 precepts, that's it. Then you don't have any trouble with the second fetter. Yeah? And then, investigate the body to see it's not you. Yeah? And then the third fetter breaks. But for that, of course you need samadhi. Yeah? You need the ability to concentrate on one point. If you want to investigate something, you have to be able to stay with this object of investigation. Yeah? If you can't, if your mind constantly switches off, I mean, your investigation is not taking any fruit. Okay, I stop with it, I mean, you're already, shifting around, shifting here because of all this pain. So get up for 5 minutes, change the posture, go to the toilet, whatever you need, yeah.